Hello out there to you. We're going to use this Google Sheets to calculate perfectly competitive problem where we've got somebody, here's the problem. Janice produces table lamps in perfectly competitive desk market. So what that means is that all the products are the same. Not super realistic, but we're being told to assume that, so that's fine. We're told that the equilibrium price is $50. We need to fill in the following table. We need to figure out we're going to make a profit, and then next week, if the price drops to 30, what should Janice do? So what we need to do is figure out, we need to fill in this table here, and then one thing that we know about perfect competition is that the price is going to equal marginal revenue. We also want to profit maximize, and we're going to profit maximize if we produce to the quantity where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Okay, so really we're looking at where does the price equal marginal cost, and in this case, price was 50, so where does 50 equal marginal cost? So let's find out here. All right, so we've got output per week, 1 through 10, and then here's the total cost. What I want to do is I want to put a couple more columns in here. Oops, I'm gonna go to the left then. Okay, so what I did was I right-clicked on my mouse here, and then I just inserted another column. And what the column I want is going to be fixed cost. And I could also write that as FC, but I'll leave it as fixed cost. Then I want variable cost. And the reason I want that is because I want to be able to calculate this really quickly and this really quickly. Um, I can already calculate this. The average total cost, the formula for that is whatever the total cost is. So what I did is I hit equals. That starts the function formula that I'm drawing here, and then I clicked on that particular total cost, and then I'm going to hit slash, and then I want to divide it by output per week. Okay, and so that's 150. That makes sense because 150 divided by 1 is 150. This next one, I could rewrite the formula. Nothing, no harm in doing that. It already sees what I'm doing, so depends on whether you want to do it or not. But that makes sense because 175 divided by 2 is 87.5. So we're just going to actually copy this formula down. I grabbed the little square there in the lower right hand corner and copied all of that down. Now all of these things, in fact all the way over here, these are all money. So we can actually tell Sheets this is money, and it's calculated all that. If you wanted more, like fractions of a cent, you could come up here and, well, actually that made it less. So that was going to round to a dollar. There's rounding to a dime. There's rounding to like a 1/1000th of a dollar, I suppose. It's not a real thing, so we'll just leave it right there. Okay. Um, Now I don't have a value for this because this would be 100 divided by 0, so that just doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to have values from here, here, and here. I think I can color those like yellow, I suppose, yeah. And I won't have one there either. Okay. Um, okay, so what is the fixed cost? Well, the fixed costs are the costs that don't change. So fixed cost in this case is just going to be that. And I want to leave that cell locked. So I hit F4 on my keyboard, but you can also just put dollar signs in front of it. It'll lock that. It won't change it. Follow that all the way down so that it's always 100. Okay. So then my variable cost is whatever my total cost is minus my fixed cost. And it's really smart. It knows what I'm doing. This makes sense. You can check it down here. Just pick a number. 100 plus 290 equals 390. That makes sense. 100 plus 360 equals 460. So there we go. Now, average fixed cost. I'm just going to take the fixed cost right here, and I'm going to divide it by the output. We know that answer is going to be 100. And then right here, this would be 100 divided by 2. That's 50. Okay, so we'll take its autofill suggestion there. And then with average variable cost, we're going to do the same thing, but with variable. Oh, no, not with variable. So see, it would have given me the wrong if I took its example, it would have given me the wrong answer. So I want to go variable cost divided by output, actually. Okay, and that's what I want. Now, if you're working on like a test or whatever, now I'm done here. Just know that average fixed cost plus average variable cost equals average total cost. So if you get one of these, like let's say for some reason I didn't know that, okay? Average total cost is derived from getting this plus this. So if I just subtract this from this, that'll give me my average variable cost. Okay. So that can save you some time, or vice versa. Say you knew the average variable cost and you knew the average total cost, you could just find the difference between that, and that is the average fixed cost. Okay. Now, finally, I need the marginal cost. So the marginal cost formula is the difference between total cost. It's the additional cost. So it's the difference between total cost and total output. So I'm going to put this in parentheses. That way I'm telling Excel to do this first. So that's the difference between the two going from 0 to 1. Okay. And then I'm going to divide it by the difference between 1 and 0 on the quantity side. Okay. So now calculated marginal cost. And this one is really easy because we're just changing by 1. So we're going, 100 to 150, that's 50, 150 to 175, that's 25, so on and so forth. So if I want to profit maximize, I'm back to the problem now. I need to find marginal cost equals a little bit, 50. So I'm going to break even on the first unit. I'm going to make a profit on the second unit. I'm going to make a profit on all the way down to here. So this is the answer. I should produce 7 units. Okay, so seven units. What are these lamps? 7 lamps. Okay, and let's see where my problem is talking. Okay, how many table lamps should they produce? The answer is 7. How much profit could she make? So you kind of have your own choice here. You could do, you could just count. You're told it's $330, and then we'll just multiply 7 times 50, which would be 350. So they make $20, right? $20 is the answer. But if you wanted, what you could do, this a little skinnier here, get more room. What we could do is just make a column for total revenue, and total revenue is going to be price. So this times whatever the price is. In this case, we're told it's 50. Okay, and so, oops, it's not auto-filled that, and then we can get profit. So profit will be, you don't have to do this, but profit is going to be total revenue minus total cost. Okay. So here we see, this is why we say with profit maximize at 7, 20 is the best we can do. But you don't want to sit there and calculate this over and over and over again. So that's why following profit maximization rule much faster, but $20 is the profit there. Okay. And then next week the price drops to 30. Will this firm stay in business? So they're going to produce as long as that price is above average variable cost. So we can just look at the average variable cost column, and the minimum of average variable cost is $27.50. So the answer is yes, I would go ahead and produce because that's better than shutting down. Okay. If you wanted to, you could change, whoops, you could change this column right here to see that. And then we'll just change that all the way down there. Okay, and so now it's sort of a case of a loss minimization, right? So you can see this with the shutdown rule. If I shut down and stay in business, I'm going to lose $100, right? Here's me shutting down. Produce nothing, or this is Janice, I suppose. Produce nothing, and it's going to cost you 100. But if you produce, you can lose 90. So I would rather lose $90 per week than lose $100 per week. So it's counterintuitive, but that's why the shutdown rule works. So that's the end of that problem.